There's a part of you that walks behind the light, a silent companion made of every fear, every unspoken wish, every hidden rage. Carl Jung called it the shadow, not to frighten us, but to remind us that what we do not see in ourselves still shapes us. Tonight we sit in that gentle darkness. We let the shadow speak, not to conquer it, but to understand. Because until you meet its gaze, it moves your hands and words without your knowing. And in that meeting, something new begins, a quiet, steady power that is finally your own. Let us embark on a journey into the depths, where the shadow dances silently. This subtle presence murmurs from unseen corners within us, places shrouded in shadows that remain unwanted in the light of our consciousness. These dark recesses form a complex architecture of the psyche, woven together by moments of silence, hidden sorrows, unmet desires, and unexpressed truths, longing for acknowledgement. Within this uncharted space, the shadow grows, asking us to journey into its depths and explore the forgotten caverns with courage and clarity. Like a room lightly dusted by years of neglect, these internal landscapes collect the debris of personal history and societal expectations. Open the door to a dimly lit room and realize how this internal setting mirrors a life untouched by exploration, emotions left aside, and truths denied. Within this space, the shadow whispers its existence, waiting for the moment when curiosity dares to illuminate what lay in darkness. As daylight touches these unseen corners, the shadow reveals its non-threatening yet persistent presence, weaving through the exposed intimacies of daily life. Imagine the shadow as an unseen guest in the familiar fabric of our existence, dwelling quietly in moments of joy and sorrow alike. It lingers in the edges of our perceptions, subtly tinting our decisions while remaining an overlooked part of our experience. The message of the shadow, like ethereal whispers at the fringes of our awareness, speaks to memories banished into dimness, to instincts kept under restraint, to voices silenced by fear. Here in this familiar room swathed in shadow, our narrative begins its gentle inquiry. Light uncovers narratives unconsciously crafted within us, revealing not only hidden aspects of selfhood, but also reflections of the broader human journey. The origin of the shadow can be traced back to the earliest days of our existence, when each avoided reality laid the foundation for its presence. From the innocence of youthful moments, where laughter and trauma entwine, the shadow quietly takes shape. Each rejected impulse or silenced voice plants a seed within the fertile soil of our unconscious, growing stronger and more textured over time. As society's expectations and family boundaries close in, personal ambition, unexpressed desires, and suppressed resentments are layered into the shadow's silhouette. In shaping our identities around external standards, the shadow becomes a repository for the unlived and the untamed, consolidating its form within the unlit rooms of our inner world. The shadow becomes home to traits and desires discarded in an attempt to conform to these ideals, with each denial adding another layer to its complexity. These dismissed components resist passive acceptance, fostering a fermenting energy that seeks recognition within the daily hum of existence. This energy may express itself as tension or latent urges, invisible fuels for compulsions or inexplicable moods that defy control. Engaging the shadow requires acknowledging this dynamic of rejection and growth, listening deeply to dialogues previously left unheard. Envision the shadow as an uninvited yet intimately familiar guest within the welcoming confines of a room. This room, is the metaphor of our internal world, serving as a bridge between conscious self-awareness and its unacknowledged counterpart. As we navigate through memory-lined corridors, examining the forgotten alcoves of thought, the shadow remains an enduring presence, guiding us toward insights hidden beneath the surface. Within this room of mental artifacts and emotional landscapes, the self is depicted as both host and guest, each whisper of the shadow and glimpse of an unrealized wish offering clues to the mysteries dwelling within. Facing the shadow is a gentle confrontation, more an embrace than a battle. We often perceive the shadow as an adversary, emblematic of our untamed natures, yet acknowledgement speaks to self-compassion rather than division. It is a reconnection of a unity once thought divided, a journey to reclaim wholeness. Opening the door to the unknown aspects of ourself invites the shadow from obscurity into conscious awareness, an initiation into wholeness that involves the reclamation of the self's authentic narrative. Embracing the shadow marks the beginning of integration, where divisions between self-identity and shadowy depths begin to dissolve. This path allows the shadow's contours to meld into our psyche, lending its shaded wisdom and latent energy to enrich the self's broader tapestry. Integration involves more than awareness. It is the active incorporation of earlier rejections into a novel expression of identity. Within the tranquility of the unlit room, integration transforms denial into acceptance, chaos into harmony. Under the luminance of newly invited awareness, layers of conscious and shadow dissolve into each other, forging a renewed, reimagined self. This process of integration reforms our personal myths, weaving the threads of our past into new patterns of wisdom and possibility, enabling us to move forward with resilience and inner sovereignty. As the chapter draws to a close, we recognise the immense power held within our unlit rooms. By unearthing the treasures lying dormant in our psyche, we awaken latent capacities and forge identities that transcend fear and rejection. Though the task of facing the shadow is daunting, it illuminates the path to psychological wholeness, laying the groundwork for each aspect of our sacred journey toward individuation. In the quiet recesses of the night, when the world is silent, the shadow softly stirs, whispering through the silence like a gentle breeze swaying the branches of forgotten trees. Its voice is not audible, yet it lives in the subtle shifts in your mood, in undocumented feelings that emerge like waves in a still ocean, or in spontaneous actions that dance out of alignment with your conscious intentions. Imagine a peaceful moment suddenly coloured with irritation, or a joyous occasion embraced by an unfathomable sadness. These are the soft knocks of the shadow, casting its ethereal influence, revealing the truths long buried beneath consciousness, much like a forgotten song softly playing beneath the cacophony of daily life, urging you to pause and listen. To perceive these whispers requires a delicately attuned ear, a readiness to listen not just with the mind but with the heart, opening up to the deep, mysterious frequencies of your psyche. Each silent note unveils repressed fears, desires and truths that the conscious mind has deftly eluded. They reflect the intricate dance of light and shadow, a reminder that embracing these hidden elements unlocks the full symphony of your identity, inviting your spirit on a profound journey of self-discovery. The shadow often speaks through slips of the tongue, those casual spills of truth that reveal more than intended. Words tumble out unexpectedly, uncovering thoughts or feelings assumed to be neatly tucked away. In these fleeting moments, the shadow nudges its way past the barriers of conscious intention, seizing the moment to assert the truths that demand recognition. A misplaced word, a comment slightly askew, becomes a reflective surface, mirroring what lies within. An unspoken wish, a hidden fear, or an unacknowledged truth. Rather than dismissing these slips as mere accidents, embrace them as opportunities for introspection. Each slip becomes a doorway to explore the contradictions within, questioning deeply within your soul. In turning toward these revelations, one steps closer to a reunification with the rich, complex, multifaceted self that lies beneath the layers of outward presence. Then there are the accidents, the spilled coffee, the missed step, seemingly innocent mishaps that might carry the shadow's unspoken language. These events can serve as unintentional expressions of inner turbulence, moments where the unconscious orchestrates an event to draw attention to the undiscovered landscape within. Rather than seeing these accidents as mere nuisances, observe them with curiosity. They might point to unresolved emotions, unvoiced desires, or unattended inner conflicts, asking to be noticed. Mood swings too present this mysterious, shadowy influence, appearing suddenly and capriciously, much like waves lapping at the shores of your consciousness. These shifts, though perplexing, might reveal emotional undercurrents that long to break free from the depths of the unconscious. Tune into these swings with compassion, seeing them not as disruptions but as invitations to forge deeper connections with your inner world. The act of inquiry, of listening deeply, transforms these fluctuations from mere annoyances into illuminating dialogues with your hidden self, creating pathways to greater understanding and awareness. Intuitive hunches, soft and unassuming, often adorn the shadow's messages with a quiet wisdom. These subtle nudges guide you with insights that the conscious mind might overlook. Embrace these intuitions as valuable counsel from the shadow, interweaving both knowledge and instinct in your decision-making process. Trust these whispers, and you will find yourself aligning more harmoniously with your psyche's broader understanding, allowing intuition to enrich your journey. This dialogue extends to bodily sensations, where the shadow communicates physically, manifesting as tension, aches, or persistent discomfort that echo hidden narratives within your emotional landscape. By tuning into these embodied signals, asking without judgment what stories they may be telling, you discover an intimate connection between mind and body. This connection nurtures an authentic, holistic balance that enriches the path to integration. Artistic expression further offers a vibrant medium for the shadow to reveal itself, transforming intangible emotions into tangible forms. In the act of creation, whether through painting, writing, or music, the boundary between conscious and unconscious dissolves, allowing suppressed emotions, latent desires, and secret fears a resplendent expression. In these activities, the shadow finds voice, and the parts of you hidden from daily life emerge as stories, colours, rhythms, and textures. Allow this exploration of shadow through art to flow beyond judgment. Recognize these creations as dialogues with the hidden self, inviting understanding and integration. The shadow, in expressing its insights, enriches the soul, leading you closer to the harmonious existence you seek. Lastly, dreams unfold the narratives of the shadow most vividly, inviting you to witness the tales spun from the whispers of sleep. In dreams, repressed emotions and unresolved conflicts come alive, creating symbolic landscapes and characters. As the conscious mind softens, the shadow speaks unrestrained, drawing upon metaphor and symbolism to communicate the aspects of your psyche that yearn for understanding. By keeping a dream journal, you capture these nightly messages, diving into the shadow's agenda through recurring themes, symbols, and emotions. This ongoing dialogue transforms the shadow from silent adversary to collaborative guide, enriching your journey with insights for continued growth and realization. Here, the shadow becomes not just a spectre of the unseen, but a profound ally on the path to self-integration, a sacred partnership towards healing and transformation. In the delicate waltz of human psyche, projection plays its subtle game, an elusive dance where our inner shadows cast themselves upon the world outside. Imagine a silent puppeteer, deftly manoeuvring strings, keeping the truth shrouded from conscious gaze. This psychological defense mechanism allows the soul to transfer its own unwanted qualities onto others, turning inner discord into external drama, a trick of the light shielding us from our own imperfections. Picture a sunlit room, shadows flickering against the walls, each a silhouette of an emotion too tangled to embrace. In projection's quiet whispers, individuals remain blissfully unaware of these dark dancers within, believing instead that the flaws belong to their partners, friends, or strangers. This convenient illusion maintains the delicate balance of self-preservation, averting the eyes from internal truths that might disturb the soul's fragile calm. Imagine now the myriad scenes of life where projection weaves its narrative. A lover suspects infidelity, but it is jealousy gnawing at their own peace. A worker critiques a colleague, masking insecurities about their worth. In these mirrored encounters, projection serves as both the veil and the unveil, holding a mirror to the soul's disowned identities, inviting them to surface, to be seen and perhaps understood. Beneath this dance lie the mechanisms of defense like ancient gears in the mind's clockwork. Here the ego, that steadfast guardian, deflects internal unrest, sidestepping pain in a world painted by its own design. For many, the illusion persists as the fault of others, obscuring the true source of unease within. In projection's world, inadequacies and guilt escape the confines of self, relocating comfortably in the actions of another. In the soft embrace of night, in the bonds of our closest ties, projection often crafts barriers rather than bridges. Within the intimacy of relationships, unspoken shadows stretch into spaces meant for love and trust. Here, partners unknowingly cast their rejected selves, burdening each other with misunderstandings and conflict. This theatre of shadows masks genuine connection, trading it for the comfort of familiar narratives crafted from past wounds. Yet as we journey through this landscape, there is hope, a gentle, persistent call for transformation. By cultivating the courage to look within, to explore these projections with curiosity rather than blame, we step onto a path of healing. Relationships then can become fertile ground for growth, where partners co-create a dance, accepting one another's shadows not as threats but as sacred invitations to deeper understanding and love. Beyond the personal, the realm of projection extends its fingers into the tapestry of society. Like ripples in a pond, individual shadows merge into the collective, shaping a culture where fears and biases play out on the larger stage. History, rich with examples, highlights societies projecting their anxieties onto others, casting certain groups as the other to define and unify themselves. These large-scale projections sow seeds of prejudice and division, hindering the march toward universal acceptance and unity. Engaging with these collective shadows demands an awakening from the collective dream. Through dialogues enriched by empathy and education, society can dismantle these illusions, revealing the shared humanity beneath. Standing together, individuals may illuminate the shared darkness, transforming it into a beacon of inclusive growth and healing. Examine now the dynamics within group identities, where collective shadows thrive. Within the comforting cloak of shared beliefs, disowned parts find refuge, often leading groups to act from places of exclusion and aggression. Group cohesion masks its fractures with shared projections, shirking personal responsibility in the embrace of collective bias and misunderstanding. To illuminate these shadows, groups must nurture spaces of introspection and dialogue. Inviting members to question their biases creates fertile soil for innovation and collective healing. Here, diversity blossoms not as division, but as a tapestry of humankind's myriad experiences, paving the way for resilient and adaptable communities. Amid the shadows between the whispers of the psyche's dance lies the individual journey of recognizing personal projections. It is not an easy path, for it asks us to hold a mirror to the soul, asking, what in others reflects the unseen in me? Through self-awareness and gentle introspection, the layers peel away, revealing the beautiful complexities hidden beneath the surface. Embrace this journey as an adventure towards self-discovery. Each projection becomes a stepping stone, guiding one back to a state of wholeness. By accepting these fragmented parts, the shadow's grip softens, leaving behind a legacy of resilience and empowered self-knowledge. In the quietude of reflection, we heal the inner divide, aligning shadow and light into a harmonious symphony of self-acceptance. The process may demand patience and vulnerability, yet it births a life where authenticity reigns, liberated from the constraints of defense and illusion. As the self emerges, whole and true, life becomes a canvas for transparent authenticity, a journey of perpetual transformation, where inner light meets darkness in an eternal dance of self-knowing. In the silent shadows of our psyche lie the emotions we shove from the light: anger, desire, grief, all characters of our internal play banished to the wings. When we deny these parts, they do not vanish. Rather, they gather force, like unseen currents beneath a calm surface. The psyche knows no true loss, and these emotions acquire a hidden strength, weaving themselves into the fabric of our subconscious, sowing the seeds of unrest. In times of vulnerability, these disowned selves whisper their discontent, swirling like storm clouds across our mental horizon, casting shadows over our conscious decisions. These neglected emotions often burst forth in unexpected self-sabotage, their power too great to remain subdued. The eruption might seem disproportionate, an inexplicable irritation sparked by a minor slight, or a lingering melancholy from unacknowledged grief. It is as though we are forever standing on the threshold of a more vibrant existence, yet held back by these unseen weights. By acknowledging these denied fragments, we begin to lift the burden, finally granting voice to the silenced aspects that seek only to be recognised and reintegrated. In our relationships, these disowned parts echo like distant melodies. Intimacy becomes a reflective dance, where partners inadvertently illuminate hidden fears and desires. What begins as harmony can twist into conflict, each partner's shadow confronting the other in a silent plea for reconciliation. In the theatre of relationships, we are drawn, often unknowingly, to those who embody the very qualities we reject in ourselves. The drama unfolds not as failure but as an opportunity, a mirror to the soul, inviting us to embrace the parts we've cast into the depths. This dynamic reveals itself in patterns of attraction, where qualities abhorred in others are attractively familiar. A person spurning their own assertiveness might repeatedly choose dominant partners, a subconscious call to claim their own power. Unseen forces shape these connections until the disowned parts are acknowledged, transforming relationships from the predictable stage of projection to realms of deep understanding and genuine emotional depth. In our professional lives too, these shadows quietly disrupt our journeys. Amidst the desire for conformity and security, ambition, creativity, and competitiveness go unclaimed. Yet they linger like ghosts, weaving threads of dissatisfaction through our work. Projects falter not from lack of skill, but fear of success. Ideas remain unspoken, stifled by self-doubt. The result is burnout, procrastination, an ever-present sense of being undervalued. Professional envy often reflects our unfulfilled desires, manifesting as irritation toward colleagues whose achievements echo what we've left unexplored. Recognizing and integrating these aspects liberates blocked creativity, fueling a renewed sense of purpose. The psychological toll of this repression is profound. Energy once vibrant now turns inward, building barriers that keep these emotions at bay. Anxiety, stress, a restless dissatisfaction become constant companions, signaling the soul's discord with life's limitations. The cycle of self-doubt repeats, urging us to confront these neglected areas. Emotional numbness and fatigue speak to the misalignment, urging us toward wholeness. Over time, this weight can manifest physically, the body echoing the soul's call for attention. Yet, through a lens of compassion, this journey from repression to integration becomes transformative, converting hidden pain into reclaimed power. In our yearning lies the craving for substance, a search to fill the void of neglected emotions. Unowned parts personify this hunger through compulsive behaviours, the siren call of addiction. These pursuits, however varied, mask the deeper need for self-acceptance. Behind each compulsion is a shadow reaching for the light. Trapped in a cycle of temporary pleasure and regret, these behaviours illuminate where deeper needs go unmet. By turning inward, we allow these denied emotions to join the conscious narrative, quelling the search for external validation. The spirit of envy whispers of unclaimed talent and unfulfilled dreams. Where admiration could dwell, envy sits, funneling energy into comparison rather than creation. This shadow, once acknowledged, illuminates a path to self-discovery. Envy thus transforms from a fault to a catalyst, guiding us toward our own aspirations. By embracing these mirrored attributes, we redirect energy towards personal growth, freeing ourselves from envy's shadow and allowing creativity to flourish. Creativity thrives where shadow meets light. When inner shadows are unintegrated, creativity stalls, left frustrated and unfulfilled. Hidden anger stifles radical ideas. Unacknowledged vulnerability weakens artistic authenticity. Yet in the chaos of these shadows lies the birthplace of stars, waiting for integration to unlock dormant potential. Acknowledging this creative dissonance frees the artist to explore deeply, transcending limits to reach profound breakthroughs. Amidst this quest for meaning, shadows whisper of a fragmented self, urging us to heed their call. Disowning aspects of oneself detaches us from purpose, leading to restless searching. This discomfort serves to awaken the journey toward integration, reclaiming inner equilibrium and aligning with authentic self-expression. The search transforms, an inward journey toward wholeness, discovering meaning rooted in the reconciliation of all parts of self. Through acceptance, true transformation unfolds, embracing every facet of the self, shadow included, restores the psyche's unity. Acceptance does not indulge negative traits, but reconciles them into allies, fostering a cohesive identity. This journey to acceptance is not a destination, but a continual dance, a testament to becoming. In acceptance lies growth, bridging divides with compassion, heralding a harmonious life aligned with true desires. Through this dance, every shade shapes a life lived with resilience, purpose, and joy. In the sanctuary of sleep, where the waking world softens its grip, realms unfurl, expansive and untamed. This is where the shadow speaks, emerging in dreams, a delicate dance of landscapes conjured by the unconscious. Within these visions, reality is elastic. Time meanders and logic defies the day's constraints, offering a canvas where our shadows craft narratives, woven from unspoken truths and raw emotions. Carl Jung believed dreams to be profound messengers, sharing hidden aspects of ourselves that remain elusive in daylight's clarity. As we traverse these nocturnal journeys, we become both actors and observers, beholding enigmas that transcend mere echo and crescendo into symbolic resonance. Dreams whisper more than fragmented echoes. They bear messages from unfathomable depths, urging awareness of what we resist. Each dream, clothed in symbolism unique to its dreamer, acts as a bridge guiding us between inner and outer realms. Sometimes their messages might align effortlessly with familiar themes, while others challenge us with abstraction, inviting reflection beyond the immediate grasp. With gentle curiosity, we peel back layers of our psyche, unlocking truths that address personal battles and mirror archetypes dwelling in the collective unconscious. Here a sacred dialogue unfolds, a symphony of the soul urging us to explore beyond repression's veils. The language of dreams is an intricate language, echoing with archetypes, universal symbols whispered from the depths of time. According to Jung, these archetypes embedded in the collective unconscious sculpt our perceptions and interactions with the world. Within dreams they emerge as potent figures, the hero, the trickster, the wise sage, beckoning us to partake in a grander narrative than our individual stories. Engaging with these symbols invites us into a broader fellowship, where personal insight melds with the inherited wisdom of myths and legends, dissolving into timeless tales of humanity. Archetypes are not monoliths of meaning, but dual beings, reflecting both light and shadow. The hero, offering courage, may also bring arrogance. The trickster, nimble with creativity, may conceal chaos. To explore these symbols is to engage in a delicate dance, where each interpretation brings us nearer to our core, an invitation to traverse our internal landscape with humility. In this ballet between symbols and dreamers, we unlock profound opportunities for growth, transforming dream wisdom into a wellspring of insight and purpose. Beyond dreams, synchronicities light our way, meaningful coincidences stitching together the fabric of internal and external worlds in intricate, mysterious patterns. Jung described synchronicity as the causal convergence of inner and outer phenomena, evoking a cosmos where serendipity sketches pathways of connectedness. In these moments, the lines between subjective experience and objective reality blur, leaving us in awe of a universe where every encounter resonates within the beats of a contiguous whole. Such experiences invite reflection on life's deeper meanings and often prompt awakenings that ripple through the self's layered depths. When synchronistic moments touch us, an astonishing pattern emerges, bridging two worlds, the concrete and the dreamlike. These occurrences might take the form of unforeseen coincidences or timely revelations echoing the silent rhythms of our inner states. A thought of a distant friend materializes as a call, or a book appears with exactly the wisdom sought. Such instances challenge habits of thought that favour chance over purpose, urging us to examine subtle harmonies threading existence's tapestry. By embracing these patterns, we attune our awareness to life's heartbeat, discovering transformations within synchronicity's graceful dance. Together, dreams and synchronicities invite dialogues with the unconscious, nudging us toward fuller engagement with our shadows. The dialogues born in dreams and punctuated by synchronistic events are not passive whispers, but active invitations, pathways guiding us to recognize and integrate long repressed aspects of the self. With open hearts, we dive into the fathomless pools of our desires and fears, glimpsing potentials waiting to be awakened. This sacred conversation illuminates what was once sown with threads of silence, translating shadows into allies, harnessed for self-discovery and healing. In the tender spaces where reality and dreams meet, we converse with the unconscious, a conversation that heals, honours, and exalts every shadow with value and voice. Whether through the pages of a dream journal or the art of silent contemplation, each engagement invites us to co-create within the soul's expansive tapestry. Through this intention, hidden resources of intuition and strength emerge, tracing a path toward individuation, a journey of becoming whole. Beneath dreams and synchronous encounters rests the shadow, the repository of latent desires, untapped creativity, and deep-seated fears. In the vivid dance of dreams, these elements unfold, inviting cathartic breakthrough and gentle transformation. Within those shadows lies immense capacity for change, revealing profound possibilities when welcomed into conscious awareness without judgment. This dance of illumination uncovers long-concealed powers, awakening insights beyond reasoning. Through engagement with these hidden elements, forgotten truths surface, embracing the dance between symbols and synchronistic reminders, encourages a dynamic interaction with all facets of self, revealing truths set free from guilt or confinement. As we continue this journey between realms, each step reflects a conversation between the unconscious and the waking world, drawing us into an ever-deepening understanding of what it means to be fully human and gloriously whole. Standing at the edge of awareness, we find ourselves in a liminal space, a delicate boundary where the familiar meets the mysterious. Here, clarity hovers like a mist above the surface of the unknown, revealing not the shadow itself but the fear of its revelation. This fear acts as an ancient guardian, a sentinel of the subconscious, its presence marked by a disquieting tremor. The threshold invites us to gaze into the abyss with humility and courage, as Nietzsche envisioned, acknowledging the parts of ourselves we've banished to the peripheries. These whispers from the darkest corners of our psyche persistently call for recognition and release. In this profound silence, fear is not an obstacle, but rather a crucial signpost. It marks our journey toward deeper self-understanding, asking why the unveiling of the shadow is so unsettling. Carl Jung warned that what we resist persists, growing ever stronger in the shadows of our ignorance. As we step closer, fear offers a transformative inquiry. Not what the shadow contains, but why its unveiling feels so daunting. The real terror is not the shadow itself, but the potential upheaval. A dissolution of long-held illusions and the confrontation with raw emotional truths. This dual-natured fear, a deterrent and an invitation, prepares us for a profound shift in awareness, urging us to transform dread into a compelling curiosity. Beneath the shadow's veil, there lurks a monstrous suspicion that ignoble traits born of shame and rejection lie in wait. Here, our perception of the shadow must be dissected gently and with compassion. The monsters conjured by fear are mere reflections of the narratives crafted around our perceived flaws. These tales are born from societal norms and personal histories that whisper we're either too much or not enough. Recognizing shadows as projections rather than entities help dissolve the hold of this dread. To confront this fear, we must reconfigure what these shadowy attributes represent. They are not creatures of nightmares, but are repositories of disowned energy, carrying lessons on hidden desires and unmet needs. Approaching them with compassion allows for a nuanced introspection that embraces complexity over binary moral judgments. This act of demystification unfolds as layers of fear are peeled away, revealing pathways to self-acceptance and enlightenment. Progressing beyond fear involves the art of naming, calling forth from the depths the shadow's whispers and roars. Naming's a method of revealing intent, a declaration to understand, synthesize, and reclaim each part of ourselves. Through naming, we dismantle the nebulous terror bred by ambiguity, replacing it with narratives that invite exploration and understanding. This transformative act turns abstract dread into tangible elements, paving the path toward integration. To move beyond illusions of monstrosity, we must examine the narratives constructed around our hidden aspects, unravelling stories steeped in bias and misconception. As these are dismantled, power is restored to its rightful place, shifting from fear to nuanced self-awareness. The courage found here defies the superficial bravado of invulnerability. It redefines strength as openness and vulnerability, celebrating the rich complexity of the human condition. Fear at the threshold is paradoxically a portal to courage, enriching the human experience. By wrapping fear in curiosity, we reframe it as an invitation, a compelling guide challenging our resolve and commitment. Fear, when approached with gentle curiosity, transforms a haunted landscape into fertile ground for inner strength. Courage here is not the absence of fear, but a steadfastness amidst its chilling presence, marking the path of self-discovery with gentle resilience. Listening in silence allows the shadow to articulate its stories, turning fears from threats into markers of necessary work. In this silence blooms courage, not dismissing fear, but granting it space in our inner terrain. Through this dance with fear, courage emerges as an ally, partaking in the shadow's dialogue with self-awareness. Here, fear transforms from adversary to teacher, revealing truths woven in life's shadows. At this threshold, the temptation to turn back is a natural inclination, a reflex honed by years of avoiding discomfort. Yet the path forward is an existential decision, demanding fortitude and faith. Recognizing these urges to retreat, which manifest as procrastination or over-reliance on external validation, reinforces resolve. By observing these temptations compassionately, they are denied the power to dictate the journey. Crossing the threshold offers the chance to bridge the divide between our light and shadow. Here, empathy forms a bridge where opposites converse and negotiate coexistence. Integral to this process is a commitment to self-inquiry, listening to both light and shadow in harmonious dialogue. As the fear of the shadow's veracity diminishes, transformation occurs. The shadow's energy becomes a source of personal evolution. Ultimately, in embracing the vulnerability that stands at the threshold, we find strength within. Letting go of facades reveals raw facets of the psyche, offering opportunities for profound growth. Vulnerability, acknowledged as an ally, crafts a narrative of compassionate strength, enhancing personal sovereignty. By embracing vulnerability in the face of fear, we dismantle barriers to self-engagement. To befriend fear is to craft a path of rituals, journaling, meditation, mindfulness. These practices anchor the journey's questing threads to the psyche's robust fabric, reframing fear as a veiled ally. In crafting this path, curiosity leads, urging open-ended exploration and refuting simple answers. This path becomes one of sacred evolution, illuminating the trajectory from fragmented awareness to wholeness where every aspect is cherished and celebrated. Finally, responding to the shadow's call is a gesture of self-love, transcending fear. It is an acknowledgement of humanity's full scope, embracing our wholeness with grace and integrity. By stepping across the threshold, we encounter an opportunity where the shadow becomes a teacher, a cherished guide through life's lessons. Embracing this call orchestrates a dance of integration, harmonizing dual parts. The shadow is transformed, not feared but honored, a sanctuary where wholeness emerges, beckoning us on the lifelong journey toward inner completeness. Beneath the layers of consciousness, in that twilight space where the known and the unknown embrace, awaits the shadow, a part of us forged from the fragments of rejected desires and silenced truths. To meet this shadow is to embark on a gentle odyssey, traversing the inner realms with the light of compassion as our guide. Here there's no place for the harsh judgment that interrogates or condemns. Instead, we must engage in a tender, patient inquiry, one that allows us to ask not, "How can I erase you?" but rather, "Why do you exist?" This journey is not a battle, but a dialogue, a communion with those misunderstood travellers within. It's akin to opening a dialogue with long-neglected facets of ourselves, shifting from a pursuit of domination to one of understanding. As we invite the shadow to speak, to reveal its whisperings in our dreams and waking moments, we illuminate what was once shrouded in the subtle darkness of the psyche. Through this compassionate inquiry, a holistic integration can begin, where the energies once feared are turned into sources of strength and creativity. To understand the shadow, we must first delve into its origins, unearthed in the soil of our earliest experiences, nurtured by societal expectations and familial pressures. These elements of our shadow, forged as a means to conform and survive, now lie forgotten, yet they hold the stories of our defences and adaptations. By recognising the shadow's roots, we penetrate layers obscured by shame, allowing us to reclaim these aspects with empathy and understanding. This is the foundation where healing takes root, shedding light on narratives that can be re-evaluated, letting go of what no longer serves us today. To facilitate this process, we must strive to create a sanctuary, an environment where the shadow is welcomed rather than banished. Through contemplative practices such as meditation, mindful journaling, or simply the quiet act of listening, we invite our shadow out of the corners and into the warmth of understanding. In this safe space where judgment is suspended, we can begin to dismantle the defences built over time, each ritual soothing the psyche's storm-tossed seas, coaxing the shadow into revealing its truths at its own pace. A crucial aspect of our journey is cultivating a stance of non-judgmental awareness. Here, we act as curious observers, gently detached, allowing the shadow stories to unfold without haste or censure. This practice helps us transcend the binary of good and bad, encouraging the exploration of how the shadow mirrors unhealed wounds and unmet needs. We witness these elements without rushing to conclusions, fostering an environment where emotional resilience and patience are the tools for honouring each authentic facet of the self. In meeting these darker impulses, desires, fears, angers, we understand they are not inherently malevolent, but messengers of our deeper needs. It's the unexamined nature of these impulses that lends them power. By decoding their messages with gentle curiosity, we unravel layers, unveiling opportunities for growth and transformation. Embracing these parts with compassion turns the tide, reframing these shadows as allies rather than foes, empowering us along the path of self-discovery. This journey demands embracing the full spectrum of our emotions. Each emotion, whether uplifting or unsettling, offers a compass guiding us through the labyrinthine corridors of the psyche. Approaching these feelings with curiosity and empathy, we embrace the wholeness of our emotional landscape, understanding that even the darker hues teach us the depth of our humanity. In honouring this wide spectrum, we dismantle the structures of shame, allowing authenticity to thrive where it was once suffocated. As we navigate through these shadow terrains, we embark on a sacred, alchemical journey, transforming base fears and desires into radiant insights. Shadow work becomes an act of personal alchemy, a transmutation through integration rather than suppression. The conscious and unconscious harmonise, and from this blending arises a coherent self, empowered rather than hindered by the shadows that once loomed large. Here, the shadow is reclaimed, no longer a spectre but a wellspring that nourishes our evolving narrative. Compassion becomes the pathway to profound self-knowledge, offering a lens through which we engage with the full tapestry of our being. It is a means of seeing clearly, unburdened by roles, expectations, or past hurts, each step taken with honesty and sincerity. This compassion is a beacon, reframing our understanding, transforming what we once feared into pathways of wisdom and self-actualization. Yet this path is not devoid of challenges. As we traverse the shadow's landscape, resilience rooted in compassion allows us to hold the tensions that arise, facilitating a dialogue that is both tender and courageous. As each encounter guides us to new insights, the shadow becomes a revered companion on our journey toward individuation. Meeting the shadow with compassion is a lifelong commitment. It is not a task completed, but a relationship nurtured over time, evolving as we evolve. Each encounter deepens our understanding, inviting continuous transformation. By embracing this enduring dialogue, we find that the shadow, when met with love and reverence, guides us toward a more authentic, harmonious existence, where the light and dark within us dance as one. In the silent hours of the night, when the world retreats into slumber, a subtle invitation emerges from within, a call to engage with the unseen corners of our psyche. This quiet outreach marks the beginning of a sacred journey, one that seeks to illuminate what has lingered too long in the shadows. Here, in the comforting embrace of solitude, fractures in the self are recognized and met with gentle curiosity. To embark on this path of healing, vulnerability must lead the way, allowing for a tender exploration of the fragmented soul. The creation of an intimate space dedicated to this exploration is vital, a sanctuary where curiosity can thrive unbridled by judgment. This sacred space forms an altar within our consciousness, a mythical realm built of intention and awareness. It stands as a testament to the depth of the psyche, adorned not with stone or brick, but with silence and symbolic presence. In this space, undisturbed by the clamour of everyday life, the language of the unconscious begins to speak, inviting us to listen with the heart's wisdom rather than the mind's logic. Here we engage not through words, but through a profound ballet of introspection and reverence. In this spiritual oasis, journaling becomes an act of liberation, a conduit through which the shadow reveals its narratives unfiltered. As our hand dances across the page, we break free from the conscious mind's constraints, allowing the raw voice of the shadow to surface in its purest form. The process is not mere documentation, but an unbridled dialogue where thoughts and emotions flow with the grace of a stream. Each entry is a unique discovery, unveiling layers of the psyche that often elude everyday awareness, as if the shadow itself is guiding the pen, showing the way to depths unreached. As our inner dialogue deepens, the practice of active imagination beckons, a bridge that spans the realm between consciousness and the mystical dream worlds of the unconscious. By inviting the mind to hover in a tranquil state, poised between wakefulness and dream, we open a portal where visions can manifest and speak in their enigmatic tongue. This sacred communion with imagery births a profound exchange, where the shadow offers guidance through symbols and scenes played out in the theatre of the mind. Through this process, the intimate dance between light and shadow unfurls, revealing untouched wisdom that awaits recognition. A conversation breathes life into what was once hidden, fostering a dialogue between the self and its shadow, one marked by acceptance rather than control. In imagined conversations or written correspondence, the shadow is granted voice, a sacred expression of its fears, desires, and dreams. By honouring these revelations, we embrace the shadow's complexities, transforming its essence from feared adversary to respected ally. This practice becomes a gateway to understanding the shadow's origins and intentions, allowing its energies to merge harmoniously with the conscious mind. The language of art further enriches this dialogue, offering a canvas for the shadow's expression where words cannot reach. Through hues and textures, the shadow morphs into visible form, crafting messages from the depths of the soul. This creative endeavour becomes a reflection of inner conflict transformed into peace, where every stroke and line reveals another shadowy layer waiting to be seen. Immersed in this artistic dialogue, the shadow unfolds in splendour, offering clarity through the vibrant dance of creativity. As this intimate engagement ensues, fear inevitably arises, a whispered fear of the shadow's revelation and the truths it may uncover. In embracing this fear, we accept the shadow as a guide, teaching us to honour every facet with compassion. By standing with fear in one hand and acceptance in the other, we cultivate a balance rooted in understanding, paving a path of courage, unburdened by resistance. In this hallowed space, fear's transformation into acceptance unites us with our deepest selves. The beauty of shadow work lies in its paradox, for within its enigmatic cloak resides light. the virtues hidden beneath societal expectations and self-imposed judgments. Through this work, we recognize that the shadow holds treasures yet discovered, virtues and strengths ripe for cultivation. By embracing this duality, we transcend preconceived boundaries, inviting harmony where once there was division. We find that the shadow's not an antagonist, but a keeper of hidden wisdom, a partner in the journey toward authenticity. Guided imagery leads us on a pilgrimage into the subconscious, a steady journey through symbolic landscapes that reflect the shadow's essence. These sacred visions grant insights into a world previously obscured, nurturing a tender understanding of the shadow's role within our endless mental expanse. As we wander these symbolic realms, the narrative of healing grows vibrant and transformative, offering revelation and peace with each shared step. Ultimately, the practice of integration welcomes the shadow into the warmth of conscious awareness. The insights gleaned become threads in life's tapestry, weaving the shadow's wisdom seamlessly into the fabric of who we are. This symphony between light and shadow harmonizes a new wholeness, where each part contributes to a chorus that sings of unity, depth, and the profound journey toward individuation. As the night fades and dawn approaches, we emerge with an inner light newly kindled, a beacon of our collective self, ever evolving on the path to wholeness. In the heart of our being, a delicate dance unfolds, a dance of opposites where light and darkness, love and hate, creation and destruction sway together in eternal embrace. Integration begins with the embrace of these dualities, not as mistakes to be corrected, but as vital threads in our tapestry of wholeness. Carl Jung gently tells us, "The bigger the shadow, the brighter the light," reminding us that to dance with the shadow is to invite both terror and liberation, compelling us to look deep within and find our true nature. Here, we permit an alchemy of spirit where discord's chaos translates into a pure symphony of balance. Imagine these dual forces as dancers upon the grand stage of our psyche. Each step resonates, creating a harmony that sings through our very being, each stumble revealing a discordance that urges deeper understanding. The challenge, dear traveller, is not to silence one dancer for the comfort of the other, but to open your heart and soul, allowing each to express their raw, unrefined beauty. Through this acceptance, we uncover a truth. Our hidden aspects are not adversaries, but trusted partners on our path to completeness. Once embraced, the shadow becomes a reservoir of untapped vitality, previously locked away by fear and denial. When we venture inward and confront the neglected corners of our soul, we discover a profound wellspring of motivation and strength, turning from a menace into an ally. This shifts the very essence of our existence, unlocking creative energies previously bound by unacknowledged desires and fears. Like water trapped behind a dam finally released, this newfound energy flows freely, rejuvenating our inner world with innovation and inner peace. Jung whispers to us still, suggesting that this transformation can shatter the chains of limitation, expanding into vast realms of possibility and closer alignment with our potential. This journey of harmonizing with our shadow is not a singular act, but an ongoing symphony of recalibration and balance. Your psyche, dear listener, is like a finely tuned instrument demanding constant tuning to restore its harmony. As you embrace each part of yourself, both known and hidden, you foster a grounded resilience, able to dance gracefully through life's complexities. Imagine looking through a kaleidoscope. With each rotation, new patterns emerge, casting light on fresh angles of our inner world, heralding new possibilities, and diversifying our emotional landscape. This ongoing rebalancing ushering agility, strength, and insight into your life, resulting in a harmonious self. The hidden powers of our shadow, once embraced, transform into conscious resources, revealing that what was once ugly or shameful is, in fact, integral to our humanity. Picture this process as an artist painting with both shadow and light to craft depth in a masterpiece. Embracing these facets with warmth and curiosity, we open doors to talents and capabilities long waiting to be revealed. This awakening allows intentionality and authenticity to guide our actions, transforming them from conflicted reactions into considered choices that fuel growth and connection with our purpose. Our complexity, once feared as chaos, reveals itself as the intricate fabric of our identity. Like the night sky surrounding constellations, our psyche's complexity holds countless stars, each a forgotten gem within us. Engaging with these complexities births freedom, no longer trapped in rigid dualism, but living in a flowing harmony that encourages continuous exploration, learning, and evolution. As we meander deeper into integration, we touch upon emotional mastery, where fear, anger, and envy shift from adversaries to allies. Through shadow work, emotions transform, bringing clarity and an emotional wisdom that turns base reactions to gold standard intelligence. Picture emotions as a cauldron, bubbling with potential. Through mindful attention, seeds of bitterness and joy become the fertile soil of empathy, preparedness, and determination. This transformation enriches our choices and deepens our world engagement, nurturing resilience and compassionate interconnection. Nurturing inner dialogue becomes essential as this conversation with our shadow crafts a continual growth narrative. Like two old friends by a fireside, dialogue should be filled with warmth and mutual respect. Allowing our shadow to become a partner rather than a saboteur. Through journals, meditations, or art, we make space for these conversations to flourish, deepening our awareness and growth. Embrace the freedom of releasing control, for in surrender we welcome unity and wholeness. Picture yourself rowing gently along a vast river, releasing the need to dominate the current, instead aligning with life's natural flow. This acceptance nurtures harmony, spontaneity, and a grounding sense of self. By relinquishing the grasping control, we invite a harmonious existence filled with discovery and potential. The legacy of this journey of integration ripples outward into the world, birthing a landscape of healing and self-awareness. Like a stone cast into a still pond, our work inspires others, contributing to a collective awakening that celebrates depth, introspection, and emotional intelligence. Our legacy lives in the stories we weave, the authenticity we inspire, casting concentric circles of change that redefine societal values of wholeness over mere achievement. Embrace this journey forward as a pilgrimage of self-discovery, an eternal spiral encouraging the revisitation and re-evaluation of self. Picture this path as a winding forest trail, where each step builds on past insights, enriching the journey ahead. To embrace this journey is to honour your past while eagerly setting your sights on the horizon. Growth becomes a celebration, not a destination, with shadow and light walking hand in hand through the symphony of life. In the waning hours of twilight, the journey of shadow work beckons us to see the path as an unending horizon, a serpentine road of self-discovery that meanders and doubles back upon itself. Here, at the cusp of revelation, we understand that traversing the shadow is not a singular event but a lifelong expedition, an odyssey of unravelling the hidden tapestries within our souls. In this sacred journey we embrace the intricate dance between light and dark as partners rather than foes, each step an echo of lessons etched into the vaults of our hearts. As one stands poised at the edge, it becomes clear that to walk forward as a unified being is to accept the past, cherish the present, and welcome the mysteries of the future. Embracing the swirling paradox of strength and vulnerability, light and shadow, we learn to hold our stories tenderly, acknowledging their depth and breadth. Through each unveiling of the unconscious, once feared shadows transmute into allies, offering quiet strength and silent guidance. This tender embrace of one's humanity requires the cultivation of a relationship with the self that celebrates the kaleidoscope of life. Here, understanding blooms like night-blooming jasmine, teaching us that turbulence is not failure, but an intrinsic part which adds depth to the journey. In this poetic unfolding, we learn patience, the psyche revealing itself petal by petal, an ever-evolving mandala of being. The walk of wholeness is akin to balancing on the cusp of light and shadow, a tranquil dance where opposites blend in subtle harmony rather than stark contrast. In this space, aspects once sequestered in darkness emerge as co-creators, helping to weave a richer tapestry of identity. The mission shifts from resistance to acceptance, uncovering the wisdom and insight housed within the recesses of the self. Here, welcoming the shadow shifts from an act of wariness to a moment of grace, where both known and unknown energies coalesce in symphony. It is a devotion to discovering authenticity, not in the polishing of imperfections, but in the seamless interplay of all facets of oneself. Moving gracefully through the dance of integration, one feels the rhythmic pulse between conscious clarity and unconscious depth. It is not a path marked by rigid instructions, but by the delicate whispers of intuition. Every moment in time becomes a canvas, inviting exploration and gradual revelation. This exquisite ballet invites courage to step, sometimes haltingly, into the unknown, trusting the gentle hand of self-reflection to guide us. Here, the journey respects the wisdom of the body, mind and spirit, allowing them to move as one, grounded in curiosity and reverence for life's mysteries. Navigating this world means learning to reside in harmony with the paradox that weaves through the very fabric of existence. Living amid contradictions is to welcome the complexity and beauty of being human, to cherish the duality where inner light and hidden truths coexist. By acknowledging the paradox inherent in the self, an opening is created for understanding without the need for resolution. We greet the full spectrum of life with open arms, drawing strength from its woven threads. As the dance continues, emotional mastery reveals itself as a tender guide, teaching us to treat emotions as ephemeral spirits that pass whether invited or not. They are acknowledged, allowed to wane and wax, not oppressed or inflated. This acceptance nurtures resilience, serving as the steadying anchor during turbulent times. Through the lens of shadow work, what was once feared now becomes a wellspring of wisdom and empathy, a quiet ally that whispers truths about ourselves and our world. Boundaries born of compassion mark the fertile grounds of self-respect and mutual understanding upon which we tread. They are the lines drawn not as walls, but as invitations to meet one another in integrity and grace. In such spaces, relationships flourish, imbued with trust and reciprocal care that respects the rhythm of give and take. These gentle boundaries not only safeguard personal well-being, but also nurture the rich soil from which authentic connections grow. In the rhythm of forgetting and remembering, life unfurls. It echoes the cycles of nature, marked by clarity that comes and goes, reminding us that the journey toward unity resembles a spiralling ascent rather than a linear state. In moments of forgetting, we might wander, led astray by unconscious shadows, but eventually we turn back, drawn by the threads of our own truth. Through these cycles we are sculpted, steadily ascending into greater awareness. In precious solitude, we sit in the presence of our own essence, a sacred pause where reflection becomes a gentle communion with the inner world. Here, free from the distraction, we listen to the whispers of our dreams, the murmurs of the heart, and the delicate stirrings of intuition. solitude provides the canvas upon which self-examination wields its transformative brush, painting a vivid portrait of our evolving soul. In these silent moments, we glean wisdom, nourish our spirits, and gently light the way forward. We cultivate presence and awareness, acknowledging life's interwoven moments with a mindful gaze. This is the groundwork for integration, transforming unconscious whims into conscious choices, each moment a chance to renew the tapestry of self. As we traverse this newfound path of unity, we embrace its imperfections with grace. Each twist and turn is a testament to the profound transformation wrought by meeting the shadow and stepping boldly into wholeness. As the shadows recede and the dawn breaks, we invite you to continue this sacred exploration. If you found solace and insight here, consider liking and subscribing to join us on further journeys of self-discovery.